here are disruptors. And the hottest way that science is moving forward right now is in the frontier of artificial intelligence. John Ramsay is here to dispel some myths and talk candidly about what AI can offer us as well as individuals. We've never been scared of stepping into the unknown here at Young Living, so let's move forward together. Hello and welcome to Young Living's podcast, The Wild Drop. My name is Jacob Young, your host. Young Living is the world leader in producing and distributing premium essential oils, and this podcast will provide you with drops of information about Young Living, including stories, history, product information, lots of little fun facts, and even more. Well, hello and welcome to the podcast. We have another first-timer here, and that is Mr. John Ramsay, who is also from the D. Gary Young Research Institute. We are blessed by his presence, and he actually has an amazing story to tell, which we'll have to have you tell a little bit later, just 2 weeks in, which is crazy, but we'll share that for another time.
One time.
So, Mr. John, please introduce yourself to the audience of who you are, what you were doing before, and what you do now here at Young Living.
Thank you so much, Jacob. So my name is John Ramsay. I am an Army veteran. I was a former paramedic in the Army. So from childhood, I've just always taken care of people. So that was just naturally my path. Initially, when I got out of the Army, I started doing, more holistic practices. I didn't want to take a bunch of pharmaceuticals having a back injury. I'm a disabled vet. So I started going down like hemp and CBD and trying to figure out ways that I could heal my body without taking a whole bunch of pharmaceuticals and pain meds. I was a young father, and so I always wanted to be there and present, and like taking the pain pills that the VA or the Army would give me at that time would not make me present. And so I just didn't want to dull anything. Rather, I just wanted to dive into it. And so from that, it took me into hemp and CBD, which I created my own company, made about $40 million over the course of 8 years. And then I exited. And then I was fast recruited to a facility here in the Salt Lake area to build a $13.5 million extraction facility, creating my own food-safe practices. When that project ended, it was funny. I had met Howard, our senior VP of research and development, and he was telling me at this other project that we were working on, he's like, dude, if you and I are both here, what do they need us for? And I was like, I don't know, man. Like they were just, consulting us for some side, details like on how to formulate products. I think this is before Howard was even here, to be honest with you. Yeah. And then Howard was asking me at the end of that project, like, what are you doing? And I said, honestly, like I'm looking for a problem to solve. Like I'm okay money-wise. I really just want to solve problems, and I want the hardest problems there are. And he was like, well, I think that your science might have a place here at, D. Gary Young Research Institute. It might be a great opportunity for you to like break the mold a bit. And we're looking to disrupt. And so I was like, oh, dude, that's perfect for me. As long as you've got me solving problems, I will forever be there. And so came on board, started working with how we can, repurpose hydrosols, how we can make hydrosols last longer, what we can make out of hydrosols, how they can benefit people. And then for me specifically will be like extraction practices, things that we can pull more out of the plant, specifically things like boswellic acid from frankincense, and really get to the heart of those like products and give us even more yield from them. Something I'm working on in the lab right now, which is pretty interesting, is encapsulating more of our oils back into the hydrosol. And so although our oils smell really amazing by themselves and our hydrosols smell really amazing by themselves, if you put them both together, it's almost like you're standing in the field. Yeah. And so like I can give somebody the experience of standing in Mona and smelling lavender, just standing there anywhere in the world. And that's really exciting for me.
That's fascinating. So amazing to hear. Are you sure you're not overqualified for your position?
But I know that I'm solving problems. I feel, this is a different environment here at Young Living. I've worked in a lot of places, right? I've been in the Army. I've had my own company. I've worked for another big corporate. But this place feels different. Like I know that some would say like, well, energy and vibrations and oils, like you can, like you feel it. Like when you walk through the doors and you look at the waterfall, or when you go look at the cabin that Gary grew up in, or when you go to Mona and you see the beautiful horses and you actually like feel the culture, right? The museum downstairs where you get to see like all the products that we come from when we were living young, before we were young living. Man, I'm just excited to be here. So I don't think I'm overqualified. I think I'm at the right place at the right time for the right reason.
I love it. And being a disruptor is definitely right in line with kind of my dad's ideology, right? And seeing what was possible, what could be broken next, all this other stuff, right? And the challenges. So I really admire that and respect that. And it's awesome to hear that from you. So hydrosol is really interesting because the different markets and different regions allow, like what they do allow with hydrosol.
Totally.
That'll be a fun project for you.
Eastern and Western medicine, man, they conflict so hard.
Yes, very,
you know what I mean? Ideology, not medicine, right? Because we're an essential oil company and we're a wellness brand, but at the same time, it's just crazy the clashes of cultures.
Yeah.
Because, you look into Europe, they're different. You look into Asia and Russia, they've been doing peptide research for so long. You look into... Way before us. And now we're just starting to catch on in some markets. And it's crazy the way our civilizations have gone in different directions. I was watching a news brief this morning on Africa, right? And they're just talking about how fast we came with a solution for things like COVID and how long they've been dealing with Ebola.
Yeah.
And they're like... we're really calling on other countries to help us, and it's happening, and we're not in charge of that by any means, but it's just crazy the way priorities in countries move the needle and how science will move along with the needle of the priority of the country.
Yeah, and speaking about those cultural differences on how quick we are to get into certain things, I think one topic that I would love to kind of discuss on this podcast specifically is AI.
Yes.
Very controversial to some, but I think there's also so many different things about it that, kind of like with a lot of things in this world, it totally varies on how you utilize it and your view and perception and what you plan to do with it. Because I've seen both sides. Perfect example is like AI generated images and videos.
Wow.
You cannot, it's getting to a point where you truly cannot distinguish stuff. I think to me, like, that's horrifying in a sense, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, when I see like how we utilize it in corporate environment, in research, and I want you to kind of get into that, there's so much that allows us to speed up the process. So going back to the cultural differences, I think that's where, like, at least here on the US side, like, we are full steam ahead with that. But I would just love to know, kind of from your R&D perspective, like, how are we utilizing AI to our advantage?
Great question. And honestly, I see AI like water, okay? Like, I can drink water and I can hydrate my body and I can be healthy. I can also drown myself.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, controversial, yes. All depends on your point of view and what it's being used for, like you said. In regards to AI, I think people don't realize they've already been using it.
For a long time, actually.
Google, Yahoo, Ask.com, Jeeves.com, AOL.com. Like, when you were searching something, there was an algorithm in the background that was an AI that looked for what it thought you wanted. Now we're just more active. We're seeing the code happen. We're having it rapidly expand in front of us. And cultural differences, yes, China may be a little bit more advanced in the technology, but they do not share their information with their people. Whereas we share all of the information with all the people. Like, there's some gates, right? Like, if you say, hey, Claude, how can I make X? It's not going to let you if it's a drug or if it's some illegal thing.
Yeah.
And honestly, that even pops up, believe it or not, in research. Like, when we're saying, hey, like, I want to understand how Tylenol is made, or, because these things come from natural organic compounds early on, and then they get synthesized in a lab and they become pharma. AI is kind of a 10xer for me. Even in, like, the company that I owned and operated, when AI came about and designers and content writers and people were like, oh, like, I'm worried about my job. I'm like, no, man, you just became 10 times who you are. And that's something that is really powerful. Specifically for the Awaken Tour, we have built, using AI, a tool that will allow people to pre-register for the analysis lab that we're going to be running. We're going to be doing some really cool tests. Those companies that we selected to do these tests which are Pinoy, InBody, and Vizia facial scanners, they all are using AI. And so in their tools, their AI is able to scrub for all clinical research, peer-reviewed articles, clinical studies, and use that information to inform how their tool views people in the world, giving people an identity in their health that they've never had before. We've always gone to our doctors or our providers and gotten lab reports. Like, online right now, you can get so many of your own lab reports if you want to. You see them online through social media. But a lot of people don't really know what to do with those results.
No.
At all. And so that's where I think AI could be a blessing and a curse, just like you can go to Google and think that you're going to die from a natural common cold. So perspective is big, right?
Yeah.
Like, And you will find things that aren't true on AI because AI is just as informative as the sources it pulls from. And a lot of those sources are Reddit. A lot of those sources are Google. Like, it's going to use a lot of the same sources we use.
It's just scouring what's already available.
Yeah.
And if that's not available, then it can do what are called the hallucinogens, the hallucinations, where it tries to create something for you, right?
Totally.
Because that's ultimately its job, is to provide you with a solution or an answer.
Yeah, it's never going to fail you. It's going to create an answer if it doesn't have one.
Yeah.
So you have to work prompts in. Like, that's what we are doing, like, in R&D right now. So in R&D, we are working hard on inputs become better outputs. Like, that's just how we are in life anyway. All the way from the way we steam distill nothing but the best flowers, right? We do that because we want the end product to be the best end product for our brand partners and our loyal customers. And so it's the same in AI. Like, I tell AI ahead of time, like, please make sure that you do not create your own information. Please only give me cited research. Please cite that research. Like, give me the URLs for it. I also like to put into all of my AI models a model where it'll go back against me. Like, don't agree with me. Please, I call it an inversion model. So if you just tell AI, like, please, put an inversion model. I put that in my prompt instructions or like my actual AI instructions, and I put them in the instructions for the whole R&D group for it to not just automatically agree with us. I want it to challenge us. Every day we should question everything, and that's what I like AI to do. Like thinking that things are the way they are and they're just going to stay that way. That is not the way we disrupt. That is not how we create new innovations. It's not how we touch new people. And that's what we're interested in doing. That's what we're using AI for.
No, which is fantastic and great to hear, because I think one thing that really made people frustrated by my dad specifically was he was always looking to perfect it, even if it was already perfected. And so the amount of times, like, we would go somewhere or we would build a farm or he would build a machine and he's like, all right, it's great. We're going to perfect this tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, we just spent 3 weeks or however many months like doing this. Like, it's good as is. And he's like, yeah, but it could be better.
I love that.
It could always be better. And I just, it's so glad to know that that's still happening and it's still very much alive, still very much within our DNA, because that's exactly how he would challenge it, how he would look at the status quo. So always challenging the status quo. He's like, normal's boring. I don't like it. So
that reminds me of Steve Jobs, man. Like,
yeah.
Did you ever hear the story about Steve Jobs when they first made the iPod with the water?
Yeah.
That's what this reminds me of. Like, we take a perfect product and then we drop it in the water, we see bubbles, and we're like, nope, there's still room to change it.
Yeah.
That is wild. Like, my mantra in life, when I got out of the Army and I met my wife, she shared the Crazy Ones ad campaign with me from Apple. Only the people like your dad that think that they can change the world do. And so, man, we just got to live like we don't know that there's any gravity. And as long as we don't look down, let's just keep climbing.
Exactly. I love it. With everything else that you're doing on AI and in your current kind of role and position and what your job is, what else are you looking to utilize it for? What do you think future goals or plans could be with it? I know the possibilities are endless, and I think that's kind of what's the scary but also really cool part about AI is we are like barely scratching the surface with it. But just kind of wanting to know your thought process on that.
Great question to hit me with, because the way that my brain thinks, I'm just always like evolving different projects in my mind. I have this hyper functional ADHD that I use in my day. I call it my superpower. I do not medicate it. I love it because I can focus on so many things. So one of the biggest things, and I can kind of let this out a little bit, and it's exciting because you may not even know about it.
Probably not.
John has a very big database of a lot of research that has been done over the 31 years of this company.
Mr. Wetton, yes.
Mm-hmm. So I am taking that information and I'm putting it into a secure environment where the R&D team can pull from. And so that is one of the projects that is currently something I'm ideating on. Another project that we're doing right now is something really interesting, is the ability for us to pull from all published databases globally on every single ingredient we use, every single thing that we do, and be able to actually have scientific validated data for every single product SKU, every single claim we make that we're allowed to make, every single thing we do. And that, I mean, we already are the line. Like we are the bar as it applies to essential oil companies in the wellness space. We are. There's nobody that has the infrastructure Young Living has. Even from an outsider looking in, and me only being here about a month and a half now, like nobody has the infrastructure we have. Imagine if we were able to amplify that with a sound education platform, teachings. Like that's where we're going with AI. That's my plan for AI right now.
Absolutely love it. And that'll be super exciting. And I know on our side for you specifically that are listening from a brand partner's perspective or customer perspective, we want to be able to give you the power to have the voice in what we talked about right now with talking about the products in a way that you can, in a format that you can, but also not something that's so vague, like has a woodsy aroma, right? We really want you to kind of dive into the nitty gritty of that. So on that AI part, we're also working with conduct and compliance and R&D to be able to give you these prompts of like, okay, can you give me a good sentence or two on lavender and how I can share it and what it's good for and all this other stuff. And what's fantastic about how we're approaching it is, one, we're kind of doing it as like a overhead over level one. So it's like lavender in general from basic research studies have seen this, right? Yep. With our lavender in the studies that we've done, this is what we've seen. And then it kind of gives you a full analysis and a broad range of stuff. So one, it allows you to help form your own words, but also provides kind of those barriers, there's those safety nets in place for you and for us too. So more to come on that later down the road. It's still super early on and just we have to make it available globally, right? So it's a massive undertaking. But just because the speed at which AI and everything is evolving, I mean, the process for these things is only going to get faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. And pretty soon you're going to have everything at your fingertips within seconds. Yeah. Everyone who's used AI has probably realized that it's not perfect, and I don't think it always will be, because that's the thing. There's always the human flaw in it. So there is a lot of human element to it too. I mean, I got into an argument with it like a week ago over a car.
Oh yeah, I argue with it. I don't know if you have a Tesla, it has an argument mode. And so you can literally put it into argument mode.
Oh, through Grok?
Through Grok.
Interesting.
And then you can tell it, like it was so funny. I had my daughter in the car, so as an example, I was like, I'm going to tell it I'm tired of these people riding my tail. And instead of it arguing about those people, it started talking about how slow I was driving. And then so it kind of backfired on me, but it also like gaslit me. And my daughter was like, okay, I can see how this could be funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, AI is everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just about how we use it. In the Army, so I come from, I'm a little older than you, right? And so through high school, there was no computers. So internet didn't exist for me until after high school. And it's just crazy that when I joined the Army, it was all about how you could find information.
Yeah.
Like you were taught in the military. I learned in 11 weeks how to become a paramedic in the Army.
Wow.
They trained me for 6 months how to fire missiles, to give you an idea of like the military's focus on education.
Yeah, I love it.
But like those months and those 11 weeks were not so much like, all right, here's how you put a Band-Aid on. It's like here in the book is how you find where to put Band-Aids on. Like it's like a resource, right?
Interesting.
And so if you consider AI kind of like that, like, yeah, AI is going to throw everything at you. But if you were to go grab a book, you wouldn't throw a book at an answer.
Yeah.
So don't take AI for everything. Use it as something to find the research for you. And then you find that information, and that's when you use it. That's how we use it in R&D.
Yep.
Because we question everything. We run everything against a scientific method. We come up with a question, a hypothesis. We come up with what our analysis would be, what we think is going to happen. Then we run the test, and then we record the results. And so, we use that just to find information faster.
Yeah, I love it. I think that brings up a really solid point, and I'd kind of like you to dive a little bit more into that. So for someone that's maybe just dipping their toe into the water of this world of AI, right? Kind of dive more into like how that can be used in, this business or in their day-to-day life, in education, et cetera. Because you're absolutely right. It's not just throws the whole book at you, but rather leads you directly into the point of the book and then loops back to the book itself, so you can dive more into it as well. Yeah,
I love the fact that it does give you the information you need. Specifically for me, like if you're just dipping your toe in the water and you want to use AI for your business, right? Because in everyday life, like we all have something to do. That is where you can use AI to do simple things for you, like being your assistant. Some of these apps are really amazing by way of what they can and can't do. If you're advanced and you want to let it take control of your full computer, you can do that. If you're not advanced and you really just want to try it out, you can use it in a web browser, not install it on your computer at all. There's free access to most of them. You could ask them some simple questions. It's really interesting how much research about Young Living you can find on AI, right? And so I would say go do that. Your first voyage into AI, if you want to go into your voyage of AI, should go try one of the free tools. Go log in, use your Google account, ask it something about Young Living you already know.
Yeah.
Test it. And you might find that it's going to give you a detail you didn't. And those are the gems. That's what our brand partners can use out there, because 31 years, even brand partners that have been with us for the whole ride, they've missed something. They've had a part of life where they had to step away and do something, and they've missed a little bit of the magic that we create and the magic that we live by. And I say, go find those pieces. Go tell it what you know and say, what don't I know?
Yeah.
That's interesting. And you're not giving up anything. You're not sharing anything that you are worried about that should be like, concealed because it's your privacy. Instead, we're growing together. And then that model that they're just using, whether it be Claude or Gemini or ChatGPT, everybody's got their own preferences. It's going to learn that they love Young Living from the beginning.
Yeah.
It's going to keep that in mind. It's going to build that into the memories. And then when they ask questions later, it'll pull from those memories that they just created. And so I'd say use it as a Young Living resource first.
Yep.
It'd be a great opportunity. And then from there, ask it some things about how they can incorporate Young Living into what they do. Like, this is what I do every day. What are other people doing? Just like you would ask in Google.
Yeah. It was really shocking because I did something similar with Deep Spectre, just kind of out of curiosity and kind of started diving into that. And I was mind blown. So
HK Lin is all over AI.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Yeah. It's so great. With that being said, with using Young Living in your business, side of caution, it doesn't do the compliance or conduct part.
Zero.
I will say that.
Yeah.
So I know Howard and the team were working specifically on some type of channel within ChatGPT to do that. Mm-hmm. Not quite polished, and that's kind of what we're doing on our side for like the Olio app. But I really want to kind of put that disclaimer in there. Is like, do not use it for that quite yet, because it has to be trained.
Yes.
And it is not trained yet.
Yeah.
That's my word of caution there. But yeah, just super exciting and amazing to see all that we have been able to do in less than a year, essentially.
Totally.
So thank you so much for coming on and sharing your insight and your input.
Thanks for having me.
We'll definitely have to have you come back on to share your other story, because I think it's one worth telling.
Oh, it is. It is. It's a little soon now.
It's relevant, but not relevant. So
but I think it'll be a great story, and I think the brand partners would enjoy hearing about it. I think that all happened for a reason too.
Yes, yeah. Absolutely. Well, it sounds like you are or may not be going to some of the Awaken
I'll
tours.
be at every single one of them.
Fantastic. So if you are going to the Awaken tours, come meet Mr. John Ramsay, and you can ask him about the story and anything else in AI. But John, really appreciate your time today and coming on to the podcast. Mm-hmm. Are there any last words you'd like to share for our listeners?
I just appreciate the opportunity. I got introduced to some of our listeners through Facebook by way of Chris Bowerbank, and the warm welcome was amazing. So anybody who's listening who reached out to me, thank you so much.
Thank you, John. Appreciate you. And until
Likewise.
next time.
Same.
And thank you for tuning into this episode of The Wild Drop. Remember, you can listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, on YouTube, and our website at www.youngliving.com. And don't forget to check out the podcast on the Olio app too. That's Olio by Young Living on Apple and Google Play Store. Don't forget to oil up Young Living family. This is Jacob Young, dropping out. Take care.